Murphy said, if anything could go wrong, it will. Our next speaker came here today intending to give a speech which relied on a screen. However, no screen was here. So did our speaker fall apart? Did he cry? Did he leave? No. He decided to give an impromptu speech. Brian grew up in a Catholic school in Atlanta. He was always a pain in the behind to his teachers, especially the religion teachers. But he's recently had an experience here in Phoenix that has prompted him to write apology letters to all his teachers this Christmas. The title of his speech, A Major Junior Achievement. Please welcome Brian Leonard.
Fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Toastmaster, and most welcomed guests. I did go to a Catholic school in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was always such a pain for my teachers. I remember my friends and I used to do things like we would intentionally try to pass gas in class just to freak out the teacher. We would stick things in the water fountain. There's a way to stick paper in the water fountain so that when the button is pressed, it comes flying out and it squirts people in the eye. We used to do all the water fountains like that and sit back and watch. We used to have one of the universal remote controls, and when there's a television in the room and the teacher gets up and starts speaking, we'd start to turn the television on, or we'd have a special videotape and put that special videotape in and turn that on while she's speaking.
Yeah.
It was awful. We were good kids, but we were bad kids. And as I've been coming to Toastmasters here, I've been speaking about my work with entrepreneurs and my work with small business. And through that, Paul Brunoforte approached me. And he approached me with something that he does with kids. And Paul's one of those guys, he's like Huckleberry Finn, right? There's Paul as the guy who's painting the wall and smiling and saying, this painting is so much fun. Come on over here and paint this wall. Here's the paintbrush. I'm going to go on over here. You need to paint this wall. It's great. And Paul's one of those people that when you see him doing it, and he says it's great, must be great. So Paul introduced me to a group called the Junior Achievement Group. And it's an organization that teaches high school students entrepreneurism. And you go in there and you talk for about an hour a week on what it means to be an entrepreneur, what it means to start a business, because small business is the backbone of the future of this country. And it's teaching these kids is going to be the seed for tomorrow. And Paul somehow got me in there. And I have to tell you, it was terrible. I mean, you think it's nerve-wracking to get up in front of a bunch of adults and speak? Try a bunch of high school kids. I mean, I was terrified of getting up in front of these kids. I remember my first day, I was literally shaking. After being a Toastmaster for how many years now, the thought of getting up in front of kids. And it was every bit as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, the pimples, the I'm too cool for school attitude, all of the roles they have to play. You have the cool jock kids. You have the guys who you can tell have already started experimenting with drugs a little bit, or a lot of it. You have the pretty girls who do their makeup in class. You have the nerdy girls who are really, really into intelligent. You have all of the different stereotypes that I was trying to get away from in high school. I couldn't wait to get out of here. And it was my first day when I was talking about a friend of mine who buys wine from people who sell wine. They have to get rid of it in bulk, and he buys it at a low price, and he sells it high. And the girl in the back of the class goes, "Oh, so he rips people off." I didn't come here for this. And I'm like, no, that's called business. So now, and she goes on and on. Now I'm the capitalist pig in front of the class who's teaching how to be a greedy capitalist and all these things. And I'm ready to pull my hair out. I gotta tell you. And then at the end of the class, I remember the girl was talking to her teacher, this very same girl, and she was wondering what to do with her life. She was so confused over what to do. Well, in my mind, obviously she's confused, and she asked me very sincerely, like I have all the answers, what should I do with my life? And that's when I really learned, that's when everything changed for me, is that this is not someone who who dislikes me or who dislikes the teacher or who wants to always challenge and who wants to embarrass me up there. This person was me many years ago. This person had serious questions, and they didn't know the answers, and they were looking for someone to explain them to them. And that's when it really clicked for me. And after that day, this was an incredible experience. The energy that these kids give is amazing. The things that I learned from teaching kids, the energy that they gave off, the idea that you know the canvas that you're painting with these kids, the seeds that you're planting, and the sincere gratitude that these kids, who their goal in life is to look cool and to not feel stupid. I mean, that is goal number one. Look cool. And when you're able to get past that, and when my last class finished, and the teacher said, "I think Brian really did a good job. I think he did great." The one kid who I thought cared the least, who was trying to look the coolest for the entire 8 weeks, said, "That is an understatement. He did great." And another kid chimed in, and another one said the same. And when I was driving home from that class, for the second time in 8 weeks driving home, I was so high, I got my second traffic radar ticket. Because I was so high, I was paying no attention to anything, any of the laws. I highly suggest anyone that wants to join Junior Achievement, wants to feel good, wants to help people, wants to plant seed, wants to paint a canvas, talk to Paul or talk to me. It's fantastic. Mr. Taylor.